No, did that happen? Well, I don't know. If it isn't one thing, it's another. Where's that bucket?
Well, he's doing all right, and I think he'll stick it.
I'm very pleased to hear it.
But the only thing is, he's getting home very late in the day.
I thought the milkman finished early.
Aye, so did I.
Of course, I suppose he could be delayed on his rounds. After all, Mr. Ogden is the type who would get friendly with his customers, isn't he?
That's what I'm thinking.
You know, such a cheerful disposition. Disposition? Well, a splash of humour in his makeup, you know, that would encourage people to respond to him.
Mrs. Walker? You don't think he's at it, do you?
At it, dear? I don't think I quite follow you.
Well, I mean, it's happened before, you know. With them road girls when he was away driving. I did hope he'd quieten down a bit when he got older. You don't think he's carrying on behind my back?
Of course not. Whatever put that thought into your head?
Well, I don't know. But he's had 2 clean shirts on this week, and that's not him. And he's taken to wearing a tie and all.
But that signifies nothing.
No.
Of course not. A certain standard of hygiene and tidiness is called for in his job.
Oh, I suppose you could be right. Still, that doesn't account for him coming home late every day, does it?
Now, I'm sure that there is some simple explanation. Excuse me, love. It's been a long time down there.
Oh, we've got a burst.
Oh, no.
A burst?
Oh, but only a little one. Still, I think we'd best have Len Fairclough round to have a look at it.
Oh, aye, it's safest, isn't it?
Whereabouts is the burst?
It's coming from a pipe on wall. Would you mind nipping round to see Len, love?
Well, couldn't you phone him?
Well, it's not necessary, is it, Mrs. Ogden? This yard's only round the corner.
All right, then. What'll I tell him? Just that you've got a burst?
Oh, just ask him to call round if he's got a minute to spare, will you?
Right,
As soon as he can.
All right, I'll tell him.
Has he made a mess on the floor?
Oh, nothing much. Just a bit of a puddle. I've stuck a bucket under. Have you got a towel handy?
What for?
Here, this'll do. Just to lap round it and hold it. You'd best come and give me a lift and all.
Of course, you see, I didn't know it was at first, but then it dawned on me. There's me, full of civility and goodwill. I stopped and I said, "Good morning, Mr. Dickinson. How's it going?" Just like that, you know, dead polite I was.
And what did he say?
No, just give me a look enough to kill me and walk straight on.
Oh.
Have you found your boot, Mr. Tatlock?
Ah, yes. There it is, love. And then what happened?
Well, me and my right Garp I am, you know. I thought, well, maybe he's not heard me or something like that. I mean, you never know, do you? So I shouted out again.
And he bit your head off?
Bit it off, he nearly swallowed it.
Well,
There you are, Mr. Tatlock.
all right. Thank you, love. Well, I mean, what can you expect? He thought you'd been getting on with Jerry, didn't he?
He's a nasty bit of work, is George Dickinson.
He wants back in. I mean, there was never no between me and Jerry. I just felt sorry for him, that's all.
Anyway, there's one thing about him having it out with Mr. Dickinson. It's cleared the air. He's a lot more contented and settled like his Jerry.
Hey, anybody seen how to Len Fairclough?
Yes, I...
Oh, he was in about 9 o'clock with Jerry Booth.
Well, that's about a minute ago.
Why, what do you want him for?
Or bursting Annie Walker's cellar?
Oh, heck.
Look, I saw him and Jerry pushing handcart at the bottom of Viaduct Street about an hour since.
Oh, well...
Why don't you try the yard?
Yeah, I'm going round there now. Irma, fetch a loaf home at dinner time, will you?
Yes, where's the money?
Make it a slice.
Sliced? I thought my dad didn't like sliced.
Your dad'll have what he gets and like it.
Hey, don't bang the door, Mrs. Oh, I wish she wouldn't bang that door. She's going to have it off its hinges one of these days.
There we are. Yeah, now give me a towel.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Oh, of course I do. I'm just lapping this round till Len gets here.
It's one of my best tea towels, Jack.
It won't harm it. It's only clean water. It'll wash it. There we are. There, that'll hold it.
By the way, Jack,
Huh?
about this play that Lucille's doing at school,
I think we'd best get rid of this, too.
do you detect a sudden change in her attitude?
What's that?
Oh, Jack, you don't listen to a single word I say, do you?
Now, what are you on about?
Lucille.
Oh, well, what's she been up to?
I am referring to the play in which she is appearing at school. Now, one moment she's completely disinterested, almost reluctant to have anything to do with it at all.
What?
Well, now she's just the opposite. Wild horses wouldn't keep her from those rehearsals.
Oh, so what's wrong with that?
Well, it's very odd, isn't it? Even Miss Nugent's noticed the change.
Well, I can't see how it's strange about it.
She's entitled to change her mind, isn't she? It's a woman's privilege.
Are you there?
It's Mrs. Ogden.
Down here, love.
Oh, I've been to Len's and he's coming round as soon as he gets the chance.
He didn't say when, did he?
And if I know Len Fairclough, that could be any time.
Well, he says he'll try and make it after dinner. How is it?
Oh, it's all right now. I think it'll hold until he arrives.
Looks all right, doesn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't really like to live in Iceland. Norman seems to like it, though.
That's where he ought to be.
Well,
My old fella, Nanuka Coronation Street.
you're awful.
Well, he even looks like a penguin in that white coat if it's ought to see him, honest.
Shut that door, will you? I'm freezing to death. Morning, Florrie.
Morning.
See any good funerals lately?
You are?
Oh, take a notice of her. She's got 'em on her this morning.
Oh, fed up with the rotten back teeth I am.
What with?
Oh, everything.
Give us a bottle of aspirins, will you, love? We've got a splitting headache.
Yes, a small one.
Yeah. What you doing here at this time, anyway?
Oh, I took some samples home last night and forgot to take them back.
Yeah.
Tarlo.
Not worth it, is it?
What isn't?
Here we go again.
Well, it's not. It's all go, go, go. It's like shoving a cart to the top of the hill and never getting there.
You are in a bad way, aren't you?
Been like this all morning. Well, I thought that was a very good job you'd got out.
So it is, but there's no buts about it. There must be more in life than chasing after buses and fussing round silly fat women who look ridiculous in sweater dresses.
See what I mean? Listen, why don't you take a good dose of arsenic and pull yourself together?
Hey, have a look at this. That'll cheer you up.
What is it?
From Norman.
Why should it cheer me up?
Because he mentions you.
Go on, read it.
What's it say? Give my regards to Mrs. Tanner.
Hey, I'd watch out if I were you. Jon's one of them old pub fighters. He's turned 80, but he can still kick up rough when he wants.
Pub fighter?
Aye, and he were a good un and all. There were not but one chap ever got the better of him, and that was Tommy Lees, who used to fight at Cobber Coles over Buller Street way. But mind you, he were in a class of his own. He were a rare scrapper, he was. Nobody got the better of him, lad.
You mean he used to... Now, let's get this straight. Are you saying that in them days, all these different pubs used to have their own fighters?
Well, some of them, not all of them, but a lot of them did.
I see. And that they used to arrange different fights between the pubs,
exactly
like?
the same way as they arrange darts matches these days.
No, it's right, you know. I've heard my grandad talk about them.
Of course I'm right. Hey, you're not calling me a liar, are you?
Ah, my heck. It's just that it sounds a bit peculiar, like. Them's nice-looking butties you've got there, Jerry.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Did you want one?
No, I wasn't meaning that.
Oh, not half he would.
I mean, it's your lunch, isn't it? What's on them?
Cheese and pickles.
Oh, yeah.
Try one.
No. Well, I'll just have this in, shall I? Ta.
He got gassed at war. When he died, they dragged his body on a gun carriage down Ancoats Lane.
Ooh.
This here Tommy Lee that I'm telling you about, they used to fight at Cobber Coles. Nah, he were a right little belter, he were. You know, he'd scrap anywhere, in a cook bank, in cellar, in a yard, out croft. Yeah. He had a nice little daughter, too, called Kitty. Yeah. She got married to an Irishman off Walker Street. Yeah.
Hey, how's Stan been in here?
Stan? No, not since I've been.
Right,
Well, if I see him, shall I tell him? By gone, she was looking a bit naughty, weren't she?
Everything all right, Jerry, love?
Oh, are they? Very nice, thanks, Mrs. Walker.
Good.
Yeah, lovely sandwiches, Mrs. Walker.
Tell me, love, is Jack still down in the cellar with Mr. Fairclough?
Aye, but they shouldn't be long, Mrs. Walker. Just have another.
Is it a bad one, Miss Burslite?
Oh, I don't think so, really, Mr. Tatlock. It isn't, is it? Soon be done, won't it?
Oh, yeah, should take about an hour or two, I should think.
Oh, yes. You know, isn't it incredible? We get through the frost and ice of the winter...
Aye, and he got for a burst pipe in spring.
Precisely. Thank you, love. Is it done?
Done? Are you joking? Here's me flogging me guts out down there and him feeding his face.
Wants a bit of new pipe, that's all.
Oh, will it be long?
No, it shouldn't be too long. Give us a pint, will you, Jack? And what's this lay about doing this time of day? That's good honest mucky. That here, cup for the...
I'll bet he doesn't know what that is.
When's it to be then, Len, this afternoon?
Ah, it shouldn't be very long. When he's finished scoffing.
Well, what do you want, then?
I want him to nip round the yard, mate. Get a length of pipe about 2'6", you know. You know where it is, don't you?
Under the bench. Aye. Hello, sir. Hello, love.
Hello. Hello, chick.
What's Lucille doing home from school at this time of day?
I don't know. You best go and see.
Oh, well.
You know, they won't take this back on Mondays now,
Ah,
Dennis.
you're only jealous, Mr. Tatlock. With the weight you're carrying, you wouldn't get in this suit.
Well, you know what they say, don't you? Don't put bay windows on the closet.
The way of the world?
Yeah, by a fella called Congreve. I've got a smashing part. Play a maiden, her name's Peg.
Oh, yes.
Madam, I was looking for a cup. It's a line from there. Right now I'm looking for that flipping book.
Lucille, love, if you're going to rehearsal straight from school, what about your tea?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll have something cold when I come in. Hey, perhaps in the bedroom I'll put it there.
Lucille? Where's this rehearsal being held tonight?
The boys' school.
Oh.
All right.
Come in a minute, Jack.
Where's Lucille?
Close that door, too.
Now, what's up?
She's upstairs looking for a book on the play they're doing. She forgot it. Now, Jack, you are going to say that I am imagining things. But as I said to you in that cellar this morning, there is something very odd going on.
How do you mean odd?
Disturbing. That girl is up to something, and it is our responsibility as her guardians to find out what it is. Did you know that the rehearsal tonight was being held in a boys' school?
Oh, is that what's troubling you? Well, lass has probably got herself a lad. There's no to worry about in that.
That is where you're wrong. In this day and age, when teenagers are up
Now then, Annie, don't start getting all dramatic.
Nevertheless, one has to be careful. Extremely careful.
Oh, so you're back then, are you?
Aye, I'm sorry I'm late, love. One of the fellas didn't turn in. What's wrong with your face?
Nout.
Look, love, if the gaffer says I've got to work, I've got to work, haven't I?
Aye.
I've got my book to do.
Will it be ready to be opening time? I've got my glasses to wash, you know.
Sling us that wrench over, will you, Jerry? Well, 5:30, yeah, there's no danger. You'll have to lose this, though, you know.
What, the whole lot?
Aye, right down to joint. Of course, we can just do a patching up job on it for you, if you like.
Oh, no. You do as you think best. Every man to his job.
No, I'll tell you what, Jack, you see. Oh, that's so tight. Here, Jerry, lad, have a go at that. Get some of the fat off you.
Up and thread's gone.
Aye, we'll stick some grease on it then.
I can't understand how it went.
You're lagging. You realise you've only got one part lagged, don't you?
Oh, I meant to do the rest, but somehow I never got round to it.
It's a good job, innit? Keeps us in work. You all right, Jerry, lad?
Isn't it nice for some people?
Ah, well, that's how it goes for us creative artists. You see, us intellectuals.
Go away and wipe your nose.
Mr. Gerard says to me,
Get lost.
He says, Dennis, he says, go, we need a new creation, he says. Somewhat dead Parisian, somewhat outrageous.
So he's give you the afternoon off to think about it.
Yeah, he says, go and sit on a park bench and look at nature and be inspired.
Listen, if you're going to go daft, why don't you take Valerie Barlow's place over here? She's selling out.
Do me a favour, will you? I wouldn't be seen dead round here.
Why not?
There's not enough class, is there? There's too many scrubbers.
Thank you, you cheeky monkey.
When I start up on my own, I shall go where the money is.
You blame me.
My artistic aspirations are beyond your comprehension.
Oh.
The drop dead. Oh, thank you, Pleasure, Mrs. Walker.
Hello, Mrs. Walker. How you doing with your birth worst.
Oh, blessed if I know. They've been in the cellar all afternoon. It's the most awful nuisance.
I'll bet it is.
Yes. Tell me, love, how's your husband? You'll be hearing from him, I
Oh,
expect.
Norman. Oh, I've got a card out this morning.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm just going in the back now, Mrs. Finley, and sorting them wrappers
Yes,
out.
all right, love. He seems to be doing very well.
That's a very nice card, isn't it? Oh, well, I expect you'll be hearing from him regularly now.
Pretty regular, I expect. Mind you, he works long hours.
You know, Florrie, I do think you've both been very wise.
How do you mean, Mrs. Wood?
Well, you know, having this short period to sort of get sense of perspective, as it were.
Well, yeah. It's not easy getting used to it after 6 years.
No, that's exactly what I mean. I do hope, love, that this time your relationship will be more permanent and lasting.
What can I say, Mrs. Walker? I hope so, but you never know with men, do you?
It's all these flipping aprons that get me.
What's 4 9s?
4 9s. Well, 4 10s is 40, less 4.
That makes 36.
3 bob. Now, where's those milk tokens?
What tokens?
Them tokens are an elastic band round them. Where are they?
They're not here.
They must be here.
Where then?
Oh, hang on a minute. No, I know where I left them. That house on
What
the...
house?
The one I popped in for a cup of tea and a chat.
Chat!
Why not?
So that's why you've been coming home late every day, is it?
What's got into you?
I knew it, I knew it. Oh, Stan Ogden, you dirty, no-good,
Hang
two-faced
on a
rotten
minute,
little-
hang on. Have you gone daft or what?
Who is she?
Who's who?
Don't give me that. This fancy woman of yours. Who is she? What's she like? Where's she live? Don't you laugh at me.
Come here, you daft.
Get off.
Come here.
What's she like? Do I know her?
Don't talk wet, there's nobody.
You sure?
Of course I am. I'll put that in your head.
Well, coming home late every day, clean shirts and dressed to kill.
You're jealous.
Oh, no, stand straight up.
Now, look, who in the right mind would have me?
You're not fannying me.
Listen, Hilda, there isn't a woman round here that can hold a candle to you.
Ah, do you mean that, Stan?
Of course I do. Look, let's get on with this, eh? We'll be up all night otherwise.
Yeah, all right. I'll just have a look at the tea.
Right.
I knew he wasn't no two-timer, Stan. I knew it. I've left it up. Stan, where are you?
Come here a minute.
It's your favourite. Liver and onions.
Smashing. Liver and onions, eh? Just the...
Who are these for?
Eh? I forgot, love, they're for you.
Liar. They're for her, aren't they?
Now, don't fetch that up again.
Aren't they? For your rotten fancy woman.
Oh, they're creamy sanders like the ones you like.
Oh, you liar. Since when did you buy me a box of chocolates?
Well, since when did they work last?
Well, you know what you can do with them.
Hey, what are you doing home?
I was just about to ask you the same question. Hang that up.
Watch it, will you?
And hang this up and all while you're about it.
Hey, it's wet.
Yeah. And put it on a coat hanger. I might have to take it in on Monday and I'm wet and all.
What's up now? Hey, don't you think he looks like me?
Now you come to ask me? No, I don't. Oh, dear me. Get it hung up, will you? Oh, I've had an awful row at work. That bag of a supervisor, and then I had a row with a customer, and then I walked out.
You walked out?
Yeah, and I had to wait 20 minutes in a bus queue getting soaking wet.
There's no place like home.
Is that all then, Mr. Tatlock?
Ah, that's all it is, lad.
Scandalous.
When do you get him?
29th of March. Of course, it may be a day or two later. I mean, it just depends what day you get paid, like.
Well, something ought to be done about it.
Aye, such as...
I'll get all the old age pensioners together and march down on the House of Commons.
Ah, we ain't the sharples leading them.
You and Ian are out there in front.
Oh, and then what?
Blow it up.
Now, Len, I know you are only joking.
You want a bet?
But really, demonstrations and violence like that, it could do no good.
You know, there's only one thing you can do, Albert, and that's crawl away in a little corner and die. Only don't make too much noise over it, will you?
No, well, there's a lot of folks will agree with you about that and all.
What's it amount to?
Oh, I just said they were 80 shilling, weren't it, Mr.
Wait a
Tatlock?
minute. I've got it all written down here on a bit of paper somewhere.
What's that, 6 each way cross doubles?
No laughing, Madeleine. Not when you're a pensioner, it isn't.
No, I know, Albert.
Any road, I don't need this. I've got it all fixed in my head. The flat retirement rate for a single fella is 67 and sixpence.
That's as now.
And with this rise, it'll bring it up to 80 shillings.
That's for a single man.
Yeah.
Let's try and work it out, then, a fella's wife. I mean, a fella's been working all his life, and his wife has been sitting at home listening to Housewife's Choice. How much would they get?
Well, together, with this increase, 130 shillings.
See, well, it's only £6.10.
Gee, scandalous, isn't it?
And I'll bet there's a lot of folk asking how the likes of me can afford to come in here most nights.
Aye, I've heard it said.
Ah, well, that's more for a bit of company, ain't it, Albert?
It's better than sitting at home staring at four walls and burning coal that you can't afford to buy.
All right, it's a flipping liberty.
Aye.
Hello, Dennis. What can I get you?
Small bottle of rum, please, Mrs.
Just
Walker.
a minute, Joe.
Smallest, please.
Ah, what's up, then?
Well, it's for me mum, you see. She's done a hard day's graft and she's not feeling too good.
There you are, Dennis.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, Stanley. Usual, is it?
4 and 6,
Hey,
please, Dennis.
Hilda were in here looking for you.
Thank you
Have you
very
seen
much,
her?
I know, I've seen her. Albert, can I have a word with you?
With me? Right, come on.
Hey, what's the matter with you, mum?
I just think it's old age creeping up. You know, you probably feel just the same.
Hey, watch it. I can give you a square jig on those old cobbles out there any time you like.
Sorry.
Hey, Stan.
I'll be back in a minute, Jack.
Aye, the trouble with you old uns is you just can't stand the stress and strain of modern living.
I'll come and cheer Elsie up a bit later on if you like, eh?
Oh, the mood she's in, I don't think she'd enjoy that.
I might even see it on the telly. Oh, Dennis, thank you
Hello,
very much.
Lucille.
Oh, shouldn't have done. Go on, you skinny pig.
I won't be a minute, Jack.
Right, how long?
You do.
All right,
How's it going, darling?
Now, remember, Albert, don't tell nobody where you got it.
Oh, I know, but it's a bit up big side, isn't it?
That's the way they wear them. It's the fashion.
Oh.
Here you are. Now, get that down, you.
Ah, you know, they'd walk all over you if you let them.
Ah, forget it. Is it not enough?
Yes, lovely. No, they think that because you're without a man, because you're on your own, they can do what they like and they can say what
Oh,
they
thank you very much. I know I'm not much caught, but at least I'm here.
like. Don't be daft, love. You're different. Hey, any moment now you'll be walking through that door with a girl in your arm.
Oh.
Go on, answer.
Yeah, all right.
Oh,
Hello. Well, it's about time you got some paper on these walls, isn't it?
Well, what are you doing here apart from admiring the decorating?
I've come to try and talk some sense into you.
Ah, well, you needn't have bothered.
Sit down.
Aye, all right. You know, Elsie, all you've got to do is apologise.
Apologise?
Yes, just go and say you're sorry. I mean, after all, love, you did go to town on her.
What did she say?
Well, the customer was in the wrong, so what? You should be used to that now. It's happened 100 times.
Look, there are some times when the customer isn't always right and you can't stand it. And Madame Dumbarton knows that as well as anybody else, and today it happened.
But all you've got to do is apologise.
Apologise to that old bag. Look, Dennis, go in the front room and get me a pen and pad off the front room table. I'll give her apologise.
Ma'am, don't be hasty.
Look, do I have to get it myself?
No, I'll go. Luke, Dorothy, speak to her, will you?
You know what's the matter with you, don't you? You're pining, that's what's wrong with you.
Don't be stupid, Dorothy. Pining.
Never you mind. I saw the expression on your face when Florrie Lindley showed you that
Shut up,
postcard.
Dorothy.
Here.
Now what are you going to do?
I am going to write to Madame Naughtybags and tell her what she can do with her shop, her gowns and her job.
You're leaving?
You're packing it in?
I am packing it in, and from now on I want your wage packet every Friday because I am joining the ranks of the unemployed.
Is she looking after you all right, Jerry?
all right. It's all right there, thanks, Mrs. Walker.
Much, much better than being with strangers. Especially when you consider the dreadful high rents that landlords charge these days.
Aye, there is that about it and all, aye.
And knowing Mrs. Lindley, I feel quite sure that she'll be, well, very reasonable.
Aye, she's reasonable, like, aye.
Good.
Well, if you'll just excuse me, Mrs. Walker.
What is it?
It's a pullover. What the heck do you think it is?
It's a bit big for you, isn't it, Albert?
I'll tell you what, mate, they'll be stopping your pension, never mind increasing it if they see you in there.
Oh, well, any road, it'll do me all right.
Looks all right to me. You what?
Is there anything wrong, Stan? You're looking a bit down in mouth.
No, not wrong with me, mate. It's Hilda, isn't it, mate? She's found him out at last. Oh, I wish you'd give over. Never saddle horse you can't ride, that's my motto.
Right, will you mind yourself, please?
Why, the heck, you're putting a bit of weight on, aren't you, darling?
Get off.
All right, give us a kiss and don't do it again.
Why don't you give him a sock, Irma?
It's not him what wants stocking.
Oh, is she getting at you then, Stanley? That's after her mother, all mouth.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Now, shut up.
Hey, what's he been up
You
to?
dirty devil.
Less of that or I'll land you.
Hold on, Stan.
Here, you leave her alone.
What's this, Mrs. Ogden?
There's your tea. There's your knife. There's your fork. You live here, you might as well eat here. And you can stop as long as you like, 'cause I'm off.
Off? Off where?
Go on, Gaddin. What you can do, I can do. Two can play at that game. So I'm off, and you can expect me when you see me.
Good for you, ma'am.
Jack, love.
Hey, what was that about someone slapping a saddle on a horse that they can't ride?
At least she's a fighter. She'll have a go.